All right, so we have the Eagles who have not lost once against a team who has only won once. Jon Berger is here to give us picks and props for tonight's game. Let's start with some props for the Eagles. And how about a first drive? Eagles this season, John, you would think that they would have scored a lot on their opening drives, but only 3 times out of 7 have they scored, and a couple turnovers as well. What do you like tonight?
You're not going to lead me, Hassel. You're not going to take me down that path, okay? They're going to score a touchdown on their first drive. Look, you got to believe what the game plan is going to be. It's going to be one of two things, right? This is just going to be one of those games like the other Thursday night games with the watchability factor pegged on 0. I actually think it's going to be a different game plan from Philadelphia. They got 2 choices: line up, run the football, be boring, getting a lot of 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2, clock runs, this game's over quick, boring game. I just don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to come out bombs away. This is a very confident team, undefeated. I think they want to make a statement. They can certainly do it here. I just think on this first drive, there's too many playmakers, too much to prove. And I'm not even sure, Chris, if the coaches even sent in a play on the, let's run to death, get the clock, just get the ugly win and get out of here. I'm not even sure the guys on the field, the offense, and Hurts and those guys would even accept that. I just suspect them to come out guns blazing. I think they get a touchdown on this first drive, and it's good value on the bet.
And if it is bombs away and it is a Jalen Hurts touchdown pass, then you would only need one more Jalen Hurts touchdown to hit the over on that prop. 1.5 touchdown passes. He's been over that in his last 2.
Yeah, you're on fire, man. Take the over on this. I think same deal. Too many playmakers. I think they are going to run the football quite a bit. I think Houston's going to have to come up, start stacking the boxes. When they do that, they go play action. You got Brown on the outside, A.J. Brown on the outside. I just think you could see a situation here where in the 3rd or 4th, I think in the first half, he gets 1 touchdown pass. I'm just confident somewhere in the 3rd, somewhere in the 4th, maybe even a garbage touchdown, he's going to get up over that number. Again, decent value here. I'm going to take the over with Hurts getting over 2 touchdown passes here.
And you would think that one of them would go to A.J. Brown. He had 3 touchdown catches last game. You still get plus money on Brown as an anytime touchdown scorer.
Yeah, and think about it. When you unpack this and you start looking at the math, I mean, this guy right now, he's surging, had his best game last week. He's averaging 16, close to 17 yards a catch, 4 touchdowns in his last 2 games. Whenever you see kind of a momentum play at a skill position, those guys tend to stay hot for a few games, and it's sometimes a stretch of a season. I just think right here with the Texans having a porous defense, I don't like the matchups in those one-on-one situations. Again, the offensive line for Philly's playing well. Hurts is a unique quarterback because he can create, can improvise, can escape pressure. That's just a hard package to defend. I think I'm going to take that number, and I think it's a safe bet that he's going to score tonight.
John, what's your favorite player prop tonight between the Eagles and Texans?
I think Brown over 70 yards receiving. Again, you look at these matchups, and I add up kind of all the intangibles to try to arrive at this. Again, he had 156 last week. You look at his average over the entire seasons, over 7 games, body work, it's all trending in that direction. Again, I think the Eagles are going to set up a lot of play action, especially early in the game off that run game. But at the end of the day, I think even if they do get to Hurts, he can escape that pressure, and that's where A.J. Brown is really dangerous. He's one of these guys that could put a double move on a safety or a corner in a one-on-one matchup, and that thing's over. So I'm going to go with Brown over 70 receiving.
And he's been over that 4 of his 7 games this season and seemingly getting better by the week. Eagles heavy favorites, and this season, John, the underdogs, the big underdogs, have covered more often than not. But when you look at the Thursday numbers, Thursday heavy favorites tend to cover the spread. And that's dating back not just since they started Thursday Night Football, but all the way back to 1970 and a bunch of Thanksgiving games as well. The Eagles are giving 13.5.
Go with it. Go with it in terms of covering that number. This is a much better team. Houston's struggling on both sides of the ball. We talked about them offensively. This is a defense that, they give up some yards on a per play basis, but they tighten up in the red zone. They can create turnovers. I just think this is going to be one of those games, Chris, where even if it remains tight, a 7-point game through the 2nd or 3rd, I think ultimately the Eagles just blow this thing open. I think it's a safe number they can cover. They just have too much talent. They got a lot of momentum. I also think they're trying to make a statement here. This team's on a mission. They're dialed in. They're laser focused. And when you see a team like that on Thursday night, they're going to guard against that letdown. They'll get this done, I think.
Philly fans would love that, obviously, because then they could turn that game off early and focus on the Philadelphia Phillies, who are playing in the World Series in a tie-breaking Game 5 tonight. Jon Berger with us here on HQ as he gives us some picks and props going all Eagles tonight. Hey, Pete Prisco is going to go up against the book a little bit later on as we begin our 2-hour-plus pregame show at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Eagles and Texans tonight.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.